everything went horribly wrong, and now we're doing it again. Again and again. Okay, so I'll start from the beginning what I was doing. So I've updated the library to have a couple of macros in here. One for running a test, so we'll just print out which test we're running and that it was okay, or if it fails, we just print failed. And if yeah, I've added this assert macro as well, so we can see if it fails, we can see which line number and which file it failed in, and then it returns false. We can do return true there. It's gonna make sense in a second. And then this runs the test. Oh yeah, I didn't have this yesterday. I didn't have this feature. So we only compile and build these things if we're running with the Godot test. And then if we look at our test code, let's do that. If we look at our test code, we can see that we're running Godot headless, and it's running with the feature Godot test. And right, okay, that was an accidental. Anyway, so we'll print out the file and the line number, and everything should be okay. Let's see what we're gonna do. Okay, back to the actual test, right? That wasn't there. So I have one test that I'm setting up at the moment, and it's test move units, and here we can add the assert GD for Godot, so we get the file name and line number if it fails. Okay, so if we run this now, this should work. No, it didn't. Oh, why is that not working? Unreachable statement. All right, of course. Being too clever there, and we just do false and true there. Will that work? Let's see. So we say false or true. And all right, there's too many S's in this one. Yeah, so we can't return. We could return false if it is false. Okay, so there we go. We got failed unit test. So let's go and fix this macro and do return false, and then that means it's gonna bail out of there. So okay, I think that should be okay. So now we have a unit test, and we have a unit test that's actually running as well. Then it would be nice if we could print out which test is actually failing, or in our failed statement we could print out the line. You know what? No, let's not overcomplicate this. We'll see which file and what line number followed by the test. Okay, we don't have to get too fancy with all this. So now that I've done that, I've put a little marker here, so I should be able to avoid putting text behind the camera. But let's open up the config gdt template source lib, and let's grab all the stuff that I've done here, all of this, those two macros at least, and put those in here. And let's compare the actual run test function, and that should be okay. Yeah. Okay, and then we have well, obviously the should not be deleted. Anyway, okay, sorry, I get hung up on some small detail there. Let's see, what do we got then? We got a passing test last time I checked, and oh, unit RS. We got an unused import and unused import point to the in unit. Okay. Let's get rid of that one, and if we don't need that, let's just make sure the warnings have gone away. So I haven't even gotten to what I want to do. I haven't even figured out what I want to do. No, look at that, we got a failing test. Did I not fix that? And, alright. Oh, hang on, that shouldn't fail. That should not fail. Why is that failing? And it's not anything silly I did in here. If it fails to do that, get the lines, print them, return false. We exit the function, otherwise true, which means since it's the last statement, it should just return. What if we do that then? No, hang on, that makes no sense. Why would that be any different? Let's copy this out and let's look at the value of this. Of that. Okay, let's see if this works then. So okay, right, we almost have tests at least. That's a bonus. So we can test our Godot, Rust, and Legion. But that did not work. That did not work at all. So test move units failed, and I have no idea why that failed. Hang on, did that even print it? It prints out none, which is I guess that's right. So what could that be all about then? We build it, we execute it. Are we missing anything? So to run this, we need to have select unit. So we need write. Oh no, we need two. I've added them as components. Oh Jesus. Okay, right. Sorry about that. So I've added these two resources as components. So instead, we're gonna go down and fix that. So that was too stupid. So let's do world dot. No, we need resources. And we need to add these now. What are we doing? We're adding the mouse position at 0. And we're adding. What else are we adding? Hang on, I'm jumping all over the place now. Mouse button, yeah, that's the one. Okay, so now hopefully, I mean, it's good to see that the test is so far proven to work by failing on that. That was although there was actually the test that was bad, and not the system itself wasn't bad. All right, and that still fails. And that still comes back as none. Okay, even though we do have oh wow, there we go. Look at that. That is not gonna work. That needs to say resources. We need to pass the resources, otherwise it will not work. Okay, let's try it again. Okay. No, still coming out as none. Oh. Shoot, okay, I thought I had that sussed. I thought I knew what that was all about, but clearly I didn't. I thought that the resources were the problem. So we're calling the... Oh no, I've put the wrong system in as well. It should be the select unit. Oh, what a lemon. Select unit. Okay. Oh, and select unit is not thread local, so add system then. Right, there we go. It's actually passing. We have a passing test, and we have a test setup to work with Godot, Legion, and Rust. I guess Rust is kind of superfluous to mention because Legion is written in Rust. All right, wonderful. Okay, so we have our first test running. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this and commit now. Added the first test. Whoops. Est. Whatever. It's easy to understand what I'm supposed to say. Okay, back into Rustland, and we'll get rid of that one, and we can start watching the build instead. And now I gotta figure out what it is I want to do with this. So I wonder if I should open a keep like a Godot build, so it's possible to see it all the time. Would that be a little bit more interesting, maybe? Let's see. So if we split this window, put it about there, and then we make a new window and we group them. And if I now go to the playground, it should run the game world in here. Okay, so we can actually see the game world now and interact with it in all its fabulous glory. Alright, and we got a bunch of debug statements there, or print statements. So let's fix that. Let's go to the probably in units. Alright, we saw that one yesterday, so we can select our units, and I think we got a reasonable start for a excuse me, for a setup now. So yeah, right, if you run this and you rebuild this, then the game is going to crash with a bad address error, I think. We're about to find out in 1 second. Misaligned address error. Okay, I don't. Well, I mean, I kind of understand what that would mean, but not really. No, I don't know what that means. I know that it causes it to break, and that's that. So let's see. So we got the ability to select units, and maybe we should modulate the color of the unit that is selected, so we can actually see that it's selected. Do we have the unit here? No, and because it's a schedulable, we cannot interact with the actual Godot node in this one. That will cause 8 kinds of problems. So let's not do that. So what else can we do then? We can. I gotta figure out what I want to do from this point on. We have the test set up, and I've copied that into the tool that I've wrote, and we have the option to move the units around. Why don't I start a new branch on this thing, and we can do a little bit of tweaking here. Feature. Let's add some combat to this. I was gonna type .rs, but that's not a anyway, combat .rs is not a Godot file. Let's make sure it's a Rust file. And what are we gonna do in terms of combat? Well, we need a target, which is going to be an entity. So one unit can be the target of another unit. And let's add some systems for this as well. So right now, if we right click, we spawn a unit. We need more mouse buttons. So if we right click, we spawn a unit. Left click, we select, and yeah. Well, I guess what we could do is we can go into our units. Let's run this. As a matter of fact, let's not run this. Let's open up the editor, and we're gonna make a change. What change was gonna be? Mu? What am I gonna do? Okay, let's see. Mode to the aspect. Let's do keep width. And let's see how that looks if we quit out of here now. And we run this. Is it all gonna be stretched and wonky? No, look how small they are, the little guys though. Okay, so what if we say that we can only select one person? And if we select two, that means that we have we're actually selecting one to target another. So what would that mean? What's the criteria for targeting a unit? It's saying that one unit is already selected and we are clicking on a unit that isn't already selected. Would that be about right? Okay, so we'll say, let's go to our combat. Maybe we should do maybe we should start this off as a test. So we got some TDD going here. Let's just grab this and let's add this test. So what are we saying? That we need to have a well, we're gonna use the mouse, but we probably don't want to use 0 on that one. So we insert this, and now where do we put the? Maybe we should put the game world selected. No, it's fine. Okay, so we're gonna insert this, and we're gonna start with the tag selector. So this unit is now gonna be selected, and then we create another one that is not selected. And instead of saying vector 200, we do vector 2 new, put that at 100, 100. Okay, and that means we're going to put a mouse position. Hang on. What did we do for the mouse position? Oh, wait. Input, come on. Mouse position. Set global. Okay, there we go. And then we'll do let target position equal vector to new 100 by 100. There we go. So then we can set global to target position, and we can change this to be target position as well, not with a hyphen. And then the same size is fine. Okay, so now we have a entity that's going to be our target entity. Okay, and this is interesting. I've not done TDD like this before. I've done it with other languages like Python and what have you. JavaScript, I did that for a bit. Not my favorite. Nothing wrong with JavaScript, of course. But anyway, this is about Rust. So, what do we need to call? We're gonna do target unit. That's gonna be the name of our system. So, we got our first entity. That's our attacker, and that is currently marked as selected. Then we got a second entity, which is the target entity, which is at 100 by 100 position, and we're setting the mouse to be at 100 100, and the left mouse button is clicked. So now we can actually write the system, but this assertion is going to be wrong. We need to change this assertion. We don't have to start with that assertion either. We can say what can we say? That there is a get component target for the entity, because now we're getting the target for the entity that is currently attacking, and that should be some. So we can leave it at that. I mean, we should be more specific and make sure that the target entity is equal to the target's inner entity is equal to the target entity. There we go. All right, so now let's create a system that will actually do this. And the system is going to be called target unit. Target unit. And again, since we're not touching any of the Godot stuff, we're free to do this as a schedulable. I should make them into runnable instead, because it's a lot easier to say. System builder. That's what I tried to write. Target unit. And before I go any further, let's jump back into our game world and use create combat target unit. And let's add this to our systems before we do anything else. Let's see, where do we have move unit? There we go. No, hang on, that's a physics system. That's not the one. There we go. Target unit. We'll add that in the end. At the end, I believe. And okay, so that doesn't exist yet. We haven't added the combat module yet. So now we're gonna save all this and watch it break. Back to combat, and now we can finish this system. So now all of this is set up. So when we go to run the test, it shouldn't be balked. So what do we need here? We need some read resources. The mouse position, and so we need to get that from our input. Create input, mouse position, and a mouse button. So we have our read resource mouse position, mouse button, and build command world, and then we're gonna have a mouse position, mouse button. And our query. We're gonna add the query. I'm just ooh, no semicolon there. I'm just doing this so I can have some kind of idea of what we're gonna do. So now we're gonna build up the query, and for that, let's save this. All right. Now we got Legion. That's not it. Right, what is the problem here then? So that's fine, that's fine. That's in the right place. Okay, maybe I should just read the error message. Let's take all this out. Not all that. Okay, distracting error message. Let's read it. Okay, so read resource. Oh right, there's not supposed to be a comma there. I'm so sorry. If you're watching this, if you just joined me, this is me showing the world how I don't know how to program. So we got our test and move units there. We're missing a closing something rather. No, we're not, but somewhat we are. That's fine. That's okay. That's okay. Apparently this is not the one. This one is not okay. Let's just take this out and see if that improves the situation. There we go. There it is. Okay. If you were looking at that, you thinking, oh no, not again. But here we go. All right. Let's just fix this one. Okay. And let's see. What are we missing here? Expected expression found a colon. Right, oh, right. There's no need for that. Anyway, so stupid aside, here we go. So now we just have to build the query. And if we build the query right, we should have with query, we should have the unit that we use to. Oh, hang on. Hang on. We need to get the selected units first. So for that, we don't really need anything. We can take a read of the unit position query. And then we're gonna filter this guy. Filter, tag, selected. There we go. Okay, so that will give us the, oh, I need the unit stuff. Use create unit position. We're gonna need the unit rect as well. Unit, because we know we need to know the sort of bounding box of the unit, so we can. Okay, what was that? Oh right, unit. It's called units. Right, sorry about that. We need the rectangle as well, so we can make sure that the mouse is within this rectangle when we click to run this. This is the fantastic bit we're working on. You can click out these guys, and that's about it. No, that's not it at all. You can click out these guys, you can select 1 or 2 and make them move, right? But it's not more exciting than that right now. So let's see if we can get this. The idea now is that if we have selected a unit, if we have one selected unit, then you should not be able to do anything else. So let's go and make sure that's not possible. So go to units and find our select unit. We can also run a second query on this one. We can get all the units that are selected. And we can also say that we're only interested in units that are not selected. Okay, so we have units that are not selected, we have units that are selected in our first query, so not selected. Let's just call it deselected. And selected. And we're gonna say if selected query dot, is it count maybe? First we need to iter, and then count is bigger than nothing or 0, then we'll return. So this way we're only allowing for one unit to be selected at a time. I have now completely broken everything, but we'll get to fixing that. So that's our query, which is now deselected query. So that will fix that. And let's see what that is missing a closing bracket. And that is missing a closing bracket. There we go. Huzzah. Okay, so if we have at least one selected unit, then we're not going to do anything with this, and we certainly will not consume the input, which this will do. So let's see. So that makes sure that this thing doesn't run. Why did I get the selected units as well? All right, or the deselected units. Well, I guess there's no point in getting anything that is already selected, but at the same time, this is a bit redundant, because we know that if any of this code is running, anything after this, we're working with deselected units, right? Even if there's a unit in this query that is currently selected, it doesn't matter, because we'll never get there because of this, right? Anyway, let's top up some water. I can see the sun is going down a little bit. It's getting a bit darker, and looking a little bit more like a strawberry again. So, all right, never mind that. Let's add a comment. Only one selected unit at a time. And let's go back to our combat system and see what we're gonna do here. So we have a selected unit, or at least one selected unit. If we don't, then we're not gonna do anything. So let's do for unit in query. It's a world. Okay, that's gonna run once, and it's gonna be our selected unit. And then we need to get the entity from that one. So that's its entities. And this is just going to be one, so that's fine to do whatever with. So what we can do is we can say, rather than actually doing a for loop, let's map that entity, and then we don't care about the other one. And we return the entity, collect that into some kind of vec. Okay. And then we can do... Okay, well, let's tidy this up, because this is gonna be a little bit messy. Let's match on this thing. And instead of doing collect, we do first. Well, no, we do collect, and then we do a first. You know what? No, that's really, really messy. Let's call it attackers, because it is plural, even though our logic dictates that there can only be one. So then we say, let attacker is equal to attackers first, and if that's none, then we'll bail. We do nothing. If it's some, well, we got our attacker, and then we're done with it. That's our unit. Okay, so we have now found the attacking unit. So now we need another query. We need to get everything that is not selected, and now we don't actually, we want to specifically say not selected, because we could click on the unit, we could click on this very unit, or the attacker unit, but if we say no, we only accept things that are not selected, then we are sure that that unit is not going to be part of that. And what are we going to call this? Targets. Okay, my naming conventions are all over the shop. I mean, I called everything query, and then suddenly we just got targets. Let's fix that. Let's not call it targets. Let's call it target query. Oh, no. There we go. So now we can loop through all the targets, which is going to be an entity. Let's call it target entity. And then we ignore the other parameters in there. In target query, this is like working with SQL, right? This is like Postgres, the game. And it's a world, and oh no, you know what? We do need that box. We need that rect, and we need to say if rect contains mouse position dot global, then we have our target. Which reminds me, we need to bounce the mouse button as well. So if mouse button, what do we call that? Let's just take that. Return. Okay, so we'll bail if that's the case. And if we do find one, we will consume the mouse button. So mouse button consume. Okay, so we'll take ownership of that event, which is not really an event, but we take ownership of this, so so it becomes empty, and no one can use it again. No other system can use it, so we don't get events being, you know, propagated and execute or affect another system. Okay, so let's see, where are we then? So we have our target, and then we need to say command add component. We're adding target, and we're adding it to our attacker. And target is going to be target entity. There we go. So that's our component, and this is only wrong because we're not including the entities. And this is wrong because I've done something wrong. So we have to use the... Oh, hang on. Okay, let's go and see what I did here. And then... Well, that looks very much like what I just did. All right, 2 point. But that's not it, no. No, that's not it at all. Why is that not it? Oh, unit position. That's the one we need. Of course that doesn't work. Alright, so it's expecting it. So we need to dereference that guy, I'm pretty sure. That is not how you dereference, that's how you reference. No, it's the wrong one. It's the wrong one, my bad. Oh, that ampersand. Say what? Are they both... oh no, I forgot the ampersand. Okay, and then that's not gonna work because the mouse button is a read resource when it needs to be a write resource. There we go. Okay, so this is a little bit exciting. So we have our test and we have our whatever it is that we have done here. We have a test, we have an option to or a method to attack. So let's see if this thing actually works. So let's jump to a playground and run the test and see. Oh wow, okay, that's not one part of that look good. Okay, let's look through this. Mouse position, set global. Expected 2 parameters. Alright, it's the actual test that is full of terrible errors. Okay, right then. So let's start with this. Set global position, target position, expected 2 parameters. Okay, let's open up the input and look at set global. Okay, no, that looks fine. Alright. Oh, of course not. No, I'm just saying mouse position set global. I don't actually have a mouse position. Oh, dear me. Okay, it was fine with the previous test because it would return a new one, but now we actually need one that we can do this. And that's not going to work because that's not mutable. The mouse button should be okay. What else am I missing in all of this? Let's look at what the terrible errors that I had in this mess. Vector 2, okay, no, because we don't have that in our use statement. Import GD native Vector 2. Oh no, that's the wrong thing. There we go. I mean, I could potentially make the build that we got running up here. I could make that include the test stuff as well, so we can see if it fails directly. But in the long run, I don't want to wait that long. I mean, I'm already waiting 8 seconds for this to build, right? It shouldn't take 8 seconds. It's taking 8 seconds. Anyway, set global, expected 2 parameters. So I'm doing this somewhere else, okay? 50. Alright, oh. I'm sorry. Okay, right. Mouse plus set global. There we go. Okay, that's a little bit less stupid. And what, okay, we need a rect 2, we need a size 2, and size 2 that we got up here, this one we actually declared in the units module. So it looks like those are the only ones that we need. So let's get the rect 2, and then we're gonna get the size 2. Okay, and then we're gonna move our size 2 from here somewhere. There we go. Here's our type, size 2. Let's put it in the root of all of this, somewhere nice, around here. And that depends on size 2D, which we have up there. So let's add that in there as well. And now our units are gonna fail because we're missing the size 2. But that should be done. That's fine. Okay, back to combat, and we got that on a crate. On a crate? In our crate. We got that in our crate. Okay, let's run the test. I'm very excited about this, and excitement persists because it's actually running. Whether it passes or not, that's another story. But I mean, if anything, I'm turning more into strawberry over here in the heat, so that's great. Alright, okay, and then, oh, hang on. That's only showing 1 test. That is woefully depressing. Why is... Oh, yes. Of course not. Because we're not adding the test here. So that's combat test and then test target unit. I think that's it. Test move units. Okay, this is what you get for copying. This is what I get for copying. Test target unit. 3 hours later, I still can't write target, but there you go. Okay, let's ignore that build and just try this one and see if this has any positive effect on this. Well, it is building, so that's positive. And no, test move units only. Why is that not working? Run test. What does run test do? Okay, well, it will just say true or false, nothing else. Okay, let's take that out. So we only have one test, and let's oh, wrong window. Let's run this again. Okay, right, that excitement is waning quickly. There's not a lot left of it. I have no idea why this isn't working, and I'm dangerously low on fizzy water. Right, but look at that, we got a failed test. That's kind of good. But I do wonder why this doesn't work. Why can't we have both tests running? What folly is this? Try it again. It's not because I think doing the same thing twice is going to yield different results. Maybe I just missed it the first time. Or more likely I forgot to save. No, hang on, that's not more likely. I seem to be missing things left, right and center. It's very likely that I missed something, and then it's also possible that I hadn't saved all the files. But the combat bit failed, and we can see that it fails on line 70. How exciting. Let's go to combat, line 70, not 70 minus. Then that one is saying that there is no entity. And why is that? Do we have to flush? Wouldn't flush happen by the end of all the steps? If we don't flush, this does not happen. But hang on, it is happening in the unit one, so it shouldn't be that one. It is taking a while to run the test. It is not just the compilation time, but we're also running headless Godot binary in the background. And no, it has failed again on line 71, so we know what that's all about. Okay. Okay, so we'll get component target from the entity, and the entity would be our attacker. Let's go to our units and look at this. I mean, like, there's nothing more exciting than failing unit tests, right? There is 100% sarcasm in that statement. So we do execute, and then we do we'll get tag selected entity, get the entity there. So that okay? This is fine. So that process should work, right? We should be able to adapt that to our combat system. So, okay, we got an entity which has, oh no, oh yes, that is right. Okay, we're creating an entity with a selected tag. Let's make sure that we actually have that. So world get tag selected from the entity is tagged. And then we can assert this. Okay, so if it fails on line 61 now, we know that the entity is not in fact marked or tagged as selected, but it should be. Alright, that is fine, so that's not the issue. So we know that we have a selected entity. So let's look at the system. If you see something wrong, please tell me. And so we have our attacker query. Mouse button pressed 1. And we're saying that it is pressed and it is 1. Okay, so we get here. We are here now. Okay, and if that works, we get the attackers, and then we get the first attacker, and we are now here. Right, very descriptive. Good bit of print line debugging, and so if we do see these two on screen, then we know that those bits are at least happening. So fingers crossed. We are here now, but we didn't see the other one. We didn't see. We are now here. Okay, so that means that we don't have an attacker, and well, that seems a little bit odd, because we're saying specifically get Unit position. Oh, I'm so sorry. That is just so. Right. Okay. Meanwhile, in the real world, you know, I'm confident now. I'm confident. Like, do you ever think about this? You write this on code, you find the bug, you fix it, and you think, I'm so confident that this is gonna work. I'll bet my salary that this is gonna work, and then it doesn't. But you don't tell anyone that you're betting your salary because you know better, right? But that's kind of that's hey, look at that, man! Look at that, man! The excitement is back. Okay, so we're gonna have unit test the game soon. That's not a real thing. Okay, if you just join this, that is not a real thing. No one is making unit test the game. That sounds like a really bad game. So let's get back to it. Let's get back to it. So we've done the test. Okay, so. Right, we've done the test. Let's do some actual something rather with this. So how can we know if this thing actually works? Right, we can print things out. Let's do an attack system, okay? And I'm not gonna write any unit tests for this. Now we're gonna do some actual code and have something happen. Attack units or attack targets, I suppose we're doing. Schedulable again. What a word. System builder, new attack targets. I mean, I wish it would type. I wish I would type what I say, not what I'm typing. With query, and we want all components that have. Well, sorry, we want all entities that has targets. Has targets, and what else do we want? I'm thinking I need 2, but maybe I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. Did I mention that I don't? Okay, read. No, we're gonna get right target because we need to be able to remove this in case the target has perished. We want to get rid of it. Okay, query. Let's get this going. Okay, so with query. Build, okay, we got command buffer, our world, our resources, which we have none, so we ignore that, and our query. And let's do something with this. So for entity attacker in query iter entities mutably. Okay, and then now that we have the entity that is doing that, we need to get the entity that is currently being attacked as well. So let target equal, well, that's really our target. Target entity is equal to target.0. Okay, so that gives us a target entity. Now we can fetch that entity from the world, get component, and the component we're getting is well, I suppose we should have some kind of hit point in all of this. Let's do hit points. And we're getting it from the target entity. And let's see if that's okay. No. Alright, no, of course not. There's no hit points. Let's add a... This is our components. And here are our systems. So let's add hit points to this, and they'll just hold a what should we put in there? A U32. Okay. So if we're gonna make sure that every entity we create gets some hit points as well. So where's our create entity? Spawn unit. There we go. So let's go and SUS. Combat hit points, and let's go back to spawn unit. And when we create a unit, we want to add the hit points as well. Hit points, and let hit points equals hot points. No, that's not the kind of game we're doing. Everyone gets a 10. Okay, right. So we got 10 hit points. So back to our combat system again. Okay, really exciting. Let's see if this is gonna work now. I mean, it's gonna be very anticlimactic if you just started looking at this and you think really exciting means lots of graphics and things flying on the screen. No, I'm gonna show you what we're working with. This is what we're working with. That's a guy. That's a guy. Click on him. He can go there. All right. Okay. It's not more exciting than that, but it's Rust, right? And I love programming Rust. So there's that. And let's see what we got here. So add component attacker. I'm in the wrong place. I am in the wrong place. There we go. Okay. So let hit points equal. We're gonna match in this. You know what? We can skip that. We can just match directly. If it's none, well, we gotta do something about this. How can there be a unit without hit points? He could be dead. Okay, and we need to get component mutably so we can reduce it. Okay, and let's say hit points minus equal 1. Okay, we'll take 1 away. And that needs to be mutable. And then we don't need to have a bunch of superfluous curly braces everywhere. Okay. Right, where are we? We are doing this. We should probably actually, you know what? Curly braces back in. We want to do some kind of printing of this so we can see that we actually get our what are our hit points? There we go. We need to have some kind of output, otherwise we have no idea that something's actually going on. So let's see then. Let's see. We're printing that out. We're attacking targets. We're gonna go back to our. We need to go to our game world and make sure that we have target units, but we also need attack targets. And let's find that guy and add that back in. Or add that in rather. So now we have the attack target system, and we have hit points declining. So we need to put one statement here and say if hit points are less than equal to 0, we say less than equal to 0 in case we change what the damage actually is at some point. Then here we need to ditch the component. So we're gonna command buffer remove component target from the attacker. No, from the entity. And we also need to remove the entity, right? I mean, ideally we'd play some kind of death animation or whatever, but you've seen what we're working with here. There's no animations yet. So remove, no, it's called delete. And we're deleting the target entity. Is that right? That seems to be okay. We could run a test again just because it's fun. And it doesn't matter, right? Because we're not testing anything of the new stuff we've added. I'm just wasting everybody's time. So instead of doing that, let's run this. Let's create 2 dudes, one there, and let's click on him and say attack that fella. And that's not what he's supposed to do. Okay, there's no attacking happening. This is a disaster. Okay, maybe not a disaster. Right, let's see then. What do we got? We need attack targets to happen, and to do that, we're getting everything with a target. That means that this is actually not happening, right? So targeted. Oh, got a target. Got a target. Right. No, let's just run this again. Oh no, that's not what I wanted. Oh dear me. Okay, right. Back to your corner. What did I do with this thing now? What did I do? Okay, now and everything sort of went wrong there, didn't it? Okay, back to running this guy. There we go. Let's see, is that in any kind of sensible place? Let's put it about there maybe. Alright, it's not important. Click on that guy, select that one. He can now move, select him again. He can move, that's fine. Select him and click there. He should not move there, but he does anyway. Why would that happen? Okay, so let's go and check our units. and move units. Okay, so what do we need to move a unit? We need to have a destination, and we need to have the rectangle doodads. We don't actually care about selected. We only care if we have a destination. So something, okay, pattern not found. Destination is what I'm looking for. Destination. Thank you. Okay, right. So we're adding this. Okay, give units a destination. So what qualifies to get a destination? You have to have a position, and you need to be tagged selected. So if these are true, then that's all good. But you know what? We gotta do one more change to this, because we are saying that it's okay to click on another unit. So, but if we're saying that we are going to update this, okay, and say that we need to read unit rect as well. So if we do that, and then we say if unit rect 0, which we don't actually have in here. Oh no, it's in the query. Oh shoot. Okay, we need to make sure that the entity is all right. We don't consume the. That's what we do. Okay, we don't consume that one until we know for a fact that that there is not an entity underneath the mouse cursor. So we're ignoring the unit position. So we can actually remove this. Okay, we want that, and let's go and take our unit rect, and then we say if unit rect contains. Oh, I am just making up words. Contains mouse position global. Now, if that happens, then oh, I keep forgetting to convert that to a point. Okay, let's do that. Right, so if this happens, that means that the unit underneath the mouse cursor is that there is a unit underneath the mouse cursor. So we need to return. We cannot consume this. As a matter of fact, we can do this. So first we check that there are no units underneath the mouse cursor, and then we're gonna go through all the selected units and give them the destination. That's not right either, because we're only looking for selected units. Okay, so let's look for all units. Okay, remove the filter. And then let's say all query. And then we change our query to all query. Okay, so now we're looking at every single unit on the screen. And if the mouse cursor is on top of any of them when we press the left mouse button, then we're bailing out of this system. We're doing no more. So enough jibber jabber. Let's fix these errors and see what's going on. Okay, closing is always something, isn't it? Oh, hang on, that's right. And that's right too. Okay. Oh, right, look at that. Look at that. There it is. There it is. Okay, right. So, excited again. Not enough to give away our salary, but you know where we're going with this. You hadn't finished building. I was too excited. So excited, I forgot to wait for it to finish building. Okay, click on that guy, click him, move there, click there, don't move, and right, the whole thing just blew up. Okay. That is not right. Okay. Right, we're trying to write to a component we don't have access to. It's our hit points. Okay, and this is a really nice error message, right? This is the people who work on Legion has done a really good job. This is like my favorite error message, because it says you're trying to write to a component that you haven't specifically said you need write access to. And everything else is just panic, you bugger this up somehow, but that is a very specific error message. It's so specific that it tells you what you have to do. So we're gonna add write component to hit points. Okay, by doing that, we're not allowed to write to the hit points component. Let's run this again. Guy out, click, click, check for errors now. Okay. Oh, I'll put it on target unit as well. What a lemon. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Third time's the charm. I just have to wait for this to finish building because this whole thing would just stop working as soon as that happens anyway. Your library can panic left, right and center in Godot and it'll just continue. But if you knacker the library, then it won't. Select him, yeah, that's fine. Select and click. And oh right, okay, that is correct. It says got a target. It says that we got a target, but that's all we got. Okay. Also, there's a lot of it. This is a lot of you know, we can just return here. There's no point in doing anything else. All right. Okay. I'm turning even more into a strawberry from that. I'm sorry. Anyway, okay. So let's see. All right. Well, this thing broke because I rebuilt it. What are we printing? We're printing out the hit points there. So this is actually happening. But we're not. All right. Look at that. The value is there. Okay. The value is there. We're just printing out something less relevant. Okay, and then we say if it's then we remove the component, target entity, and then we delete target. And what we should do in our unit, we're gonna do one more implementation here. Implement drop for units. Okay, so when we bin this, we can just queue this for free. Not for free. Queue this to free. Okay. That's going to be unsafe and self.0.q3. I like how I said that as if it was a question. Okay, so now if we run this again, the unit should actually disappear. Waiting for that to build. There we go. Get one out. Get one out. Select this dude, click on that dude, and it's gone. Right, that, oh, and it's also selected so it can move around. Okay, all right, let's get a few more guys out. Select, get him. All right. Sorry, I get a little bit excited there. And here's our output of all of this as well. So that's not bad. So this is not even what I was supposed to do when I started this today. I was going to do some unit tests and fiddle about with this a little bit. Well, I didn't have anything specific, but now I kind of do. Again, all this is on GitHub. I'm going to commit all this now. Git add. Added some terribly basic combat. Okay, let's push that before I say anything else that's stupid. Okay, so we have basic combat in there, and we got some warnings. Okay, we don't need a unit position. That's not at all what I was gonna do. Okay, we don't need that, and we don't need that. Okay, no warnings. Great. Let's get rid of some warnings before we call it a day, right? Let's clear out the warnings. Say we can see the warnings. There's one. Game. Alright, unused variable entity. Oh, really? If we don't, no, I don't know why I would need the entity there. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of it. We just need a rectangle. And here we don't need a rectangle. Okay. And that's fine. And then we don't need the what now? Variant is never constructed mouse and input. Well, that's not entirely true because we use this in our test. So I think that's what we do from event, this is how we normally do this. We'll get a in a game world. We'll go to our unhandled doodah. There it is, and we check if we got an input mouse button event, or input event mouse button rather. Then we create one from there, which means that this does not need to have any unnecessary brackets. Right, and same thing with this one. We don't need to have... well, hang on, this is getting a little bit long. It's because of the unsafe thing. Oh, you know what? We're gonna make let position equal, right? And then take all of that and pass in position there. Okay, that's a bit tidier. Alright, so what do we got? We got that warning, but I don't really care about that warning. That's fine. And while it's building, let's check for unsafe. Let's see how many. 11 unsafe in there. Well, that's not too bad. I mean, everything is related to GD Native, and as I said yesterday, that GD Native is absolutely amazing. I love it, and the people who are working on it are really good. So I'm not complaining about the unsafe stuff. But anyway, okay. So right, let's commit this. Git add. Oh, hang on. Did I forget to commit all the other bit? Oh, status is the word we're looking for. What are we adding here? Because I forgot to commit all the tests. So added tests and some basic clean up warnings. I mean, no one reads these. When was the last time you read a commit message from like a couple of months ago? Going, oh yeah, that's what I was doing. Thank God that commit message was there. I mean, maybe when you're working with a team of people and you're talking about a specific feature and someone say, oh yeah, you know, this thing and that thing and whatever happened. Oh, large files detected. So I have committed something I shouldn't commit then, did I? You know what? I'm going to go and clean up that mess, but not in front of everyone. That's going to be super boring, and I'm going to eat some food first. But anyway, I'll probably do this again tomorrow. And what am I going to do tomorrow? So we've done a bit of combat. You know what? Maybe you should have some. I mean, the very reason I started this was so I could have some way to try out the stuff for the game that I'm working on, right? Because it's getting big and there's a lot of visual noise with all the code in the way and all the stuff that's happening. The build time is allegedly longer, but looking at this 8 seconds, I don't know if that's true. But the build time and the way you got to set everything up, not to mention that I didn't have any unit testing until now. So yeah, so I started this so I can actually prototype things. That's the word I was looking for, prototype. So I can prototype things, and you know, and we got some really terribly basic combat, terribly basic combat. And what I'm gonna do tomorrow is I'm gonna add some kind of bullet trail between these two sprites, just because that's what I really wanted to do. And I was sitting down with my game going, I should add some bullet trail because it's terribly boring. You hear a bang and the unit's just standing there like a lemon. And I think, okay, we add a bullet trail and then we add some particle effects, so you got a little bit of like dust flying up or whatever, and so on and so forth. So that's what I'm gonna do. All right, tomorrow is probably, yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. Anyway, thank you all who've been watching so far, and I hope it wasn't too boring. Bye for now.